In some way in your life, you are leading the way. Whether that's a parent, or as a partner, or a teacher, or as a colleague, or a teammate, or even a boss. As well as yourself, you lead yourself towards the changes you want to make. Leaders, therefore, are the ones that see opportunity for change before anyone else. In a way, you could see them as the visionary, helping to guide others, the people closest to them, towards that new change. Yet being a leader is often a thankless process, isn't it? We're trying to guide people who are a few steps behind us in the process of change, which always causes friction because none of us want to change in the first place. This is why the path of being a leader is so lonely. When we try to pull people, the people closest to us, towards us, it often causes a resistance. We're the one causing that resistance. And it's important to remember that no matter how great we think our ideas are, even if they are incredible ideas, it's not the real driver for transformation. When we have that role as a leader in all those different environments, we are often planning for change well before anyone else is. 2020 has been a year of change for all of us, and within your professional or personal lives right now, there may be areas of change that you can see. Yet you're probably a few steps ahead of the people that you're aiming to guide and able to bring along within that change. And it's really important to understand where the people that matter to you are in that process of change, because identifying change is one thing, but encouraging people to change is something totally different, isn't it? So today I'm going to discuss the 5 stages of change, and then I'm going to set out an invitation for you to create deeper connections with the people that matter most. Let's discuss. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. I'm Richard from the Conscious Life Collective. We help individuals and organizations reach and harness their full potential on the path to personal mastery. Simply being because we believe the world is much better when you're living your most connected and authentic expression. Episode 11 today. Thank you for listening, whether you're on YouTube or iTunes or Spotify. Again, ask you if you find this content important, if you find it useful to you, if it's helping you out, please leave a review below or comment below. I'd really appreciate it, and it's going to help more and more people access this content. So today I'm going to discuss change and help you create a successful environment that accepts change, both in your personal and professional lives. But before we discuss the 4 steps or 5 steps to change, it's important to say that to create change, especially involving other people, we have to have a level of trust, a large amount of trust. Before I go through the 4 steps to building trust to unlock the change that you want to create, it's important to mention that change is not about, oh, I get an idea, I want to move away from this point, oh, I'll just make that change, new world. It doesn't happen like that. Change is so multidimensional, and it's important to uncover that before we dive into change. There are quite a few different models. I think it's important to take models from some kind of science because it offers, there's a validation and reliability, and it offers a nice framework to follow. But it has to be applicable, doesn't it? Certainly this model resonates with us the most, and hopefully you're going to see where you fit into this process. So step 1 is called pre-contemplation. What makes up pre-contemplation is the fact that often there's no recognition of need to change or interest to change at all. And that could be there's just no awareness. There's no awareness. A person in this stage has no awareness at all that they want to change or they need to change, for example. 2 real life examples could be, it could be a personal learner that, as I said, has hit a sweet spot and is in a really comfortable position and is just happy where they are. On the flip side, it could be someone that's just not interested at all, whatever. Thinking of maybe professionally, this could be a junior level position that operate here quite often. So that's pre-contemplation. Step 2 is contemplation. So now there's an awareness. Maybe I could do things better. That could be a parent, a partner, a leader, business owner. They're thinking about change. You could be thinking about change right now because you're watching these videos. Something maybe that you're looking for, you're searching for. You're clicking around a few different articles, different podcasts. You're trying to get new ideas. So that's contemplation stage. Step 3, preparation or determination, you could call it. So you're getting ready. Actively thinking and getting ready to make change. So not change is taking process at the moment. You're thinking about, you're getting ready for it. So it could be you're buying a new pair of trainers to begin some exercise. It could be you're clearing out certain foods because you want to enter into a healthy eating lifestyle. It could be that you're changing the way your bedroom's set up so it's darker, there's no noise, it's cooler. For example, you're putting things in place to enable change. Okay, now is step 4, stage 4, and this is about action. Now is the time to take action. A really important piece from this, or key understanding, is that if you look at the other stages before this, so stage 1, 2, and 3, they're hidden stages. There's no evidence of change, it's all internal thought processes. And so if you're in a professional setting and you're leading people, for example, and you're wanting to create change because you see a new way, a better way, the people you're influencing are completely unaware of your thought processes up until the moment that you share it with them. And so if you're looking to make change quickly, this can be an issue because they, for all you know, could be in pre-contemplation. They could be very, very happy where they are right now. Moving this into a personal setting, in a relationship, if you're trying to create a change, there's been an area within you that's uneasy, maybe. And so if you're trying to approach your partner, be aware that they could be a few stages back because they're not interested in change or they're not looking to change. A real life example of me is being a father, first-time father. My wife was pregnant. Obviously, I knew she was pregnant, but she had all of this internal world going on, the connection to our daughter before she was born. Her body was changing daily, hormone shifts. Things were moving well before the day of birth or the day of labor, when that became my reality of change. Right, here we go. Of course, I knew she was pregnant, but as a man, it's like, I can talk for myself as me as a male, and I'm holding my daughter, right, now I am a father. Whereas my wife has been a mother since inception. And so to give you a real life example of how this showed up in my life. So step 5, maintenance. So if you do it, you're maintaining the change that you've wanted and you're keeping it going. It could be that you've created change by going away, taking yourself out of a situation, so going on holiday, 2-week holiday, you get that 2 weeks when you get back where you're really motivated to keep going, but then you slip back to old ways. So stage 5 is maintenance, but it's also regression. It could be that whatever that new behavior is, you could be maintaining it. And so you are maintaining that spot. And so you completed the circle. It doesn't mean once round, because we're always looking to change multiple times throughout our life, aren't we? So step 1 is pre-contemplation all the way around to maintenance. And maintenance is either maintaining that new behavior or it's regression, where you're slipping back to old ways. So thinking about that 5-step process of change, I want to ask you, in your life right now, where are you in the process of change with regards to your self-care and regards to your personal mastery? Do you have any awareness of wanting to develop them? Or are you aware you could be doing things better? And that's going to be very personal. Like I said, if you're watching this video and you keep watching these videos, there's something within you that's looking to change. You're seeking something. And I want to offer you a free guide, like a free guide. If you are within that awareness and you're in stage 2, stage 3, where you're contemplating taking action, then there's a free guide for you to download below. Just follow the link. It's our free 4 simple steps to self-care, and where we lay out foundational pathway for you to integrate and apply self-care practices. So you're going to learn mobility and yoga to ease chronic pain. You're going to learn how to shift into a success mindset. You'll learn how to get the best night's sleep you've had in a long time. You'll learn 3 quick wins on how to tidy up your nutrition for better health. And you'll learn how to use your breath to manage your anxiety and calm yourself. It's totally free for you. It's below, video tutorials, guided exercises. It's really nicely laid out and easy to follow, step by step, 4 simple steps. So download it, and that can be your first step in stage 4, where you begin to take action. Take action now and download it for yourself. But understanding where people are in the cycle of change is one thing. And as I said at the beginning, encouraging change is something totally different. No matter how great or innovative our ideas are, it's how that relationship we have with those people where the trust and the buy-in is. Certainly, again, linking back to my career in sport, as someone who studied to a master's level, there's science, and potentially could be seen as a figure of authority because of understanding the science, yet working with people, athletes are people. And so if they didn't trust me, there's no way I'm going to help them create change in their training or in their fitness or whatever they're looking for, because that connection hasn't been made. So it doesn't matter what you know. Knowledge is powerful, but it means nothing if you can't connect to the people that you're trying to help change. And so asking yourself, how are you really perceived with regards to your credibility, your reliability, and your empathy is so very important to build trust. Even when you score highly on those 3 areas, the real make or break is how people perceive your motivation, your orientation. So are you in it for them, or are you in it for your own selfish gain? Now, those waters clash, because you're doing something, because obviously when we do something, we're getting something from it. But if someone doesn't feel that you're completely in it, you're just in it for yourself, then they're just going to switch off. They're not going to trust you because there is no connection that's been made. So understanding where people are in the process of change is one thing, but to encourage change is a totally different story, isn't it? And to do that, it really requires us, in whatever leadership role we inhabit, whether that's a parent or partner or colleague or actual boss in a professional setting, we have to be open to being vulnerable and diving deeper into these kind of questions. And so I want to ask you a few questions and see how honest you can be, or how much you actually know. So how well can you answer these? The first one, do the important people in your life feel you know what you're talking about? How is your credibility, basically? Number 2, do those people feel you do what you say? How reliable are you? And 3, do you know how they truly feel? So they're the first 3 questions. Break them down a little bit. So your credibility, this is going to be different in different environments. So whether you talk to your partner and then you talk to someone at work, the perception of that is going to be different, of course, isn't it? But those questions still matter just the same. The second question about reliable, are you really reliable at work? You do what you say, you always follow through with what you lay out, and what your actions replicate your words? Or are you often saying something and not following through on that? And again, that's going to be different in different environments. And the third one, do you know how they truly feel? Quite often someone will say something, but you'll sense something, that the feeling that you can sense doesn't match up to what that person has said. And so are you aware of those subtleties? Can you pick up on that? And if you can pick up on that, how do you address that? Do you just leave it? Or have you found a way to be able to address those? So there are 3 really important questions to look at: your credibility, your reliability, and your empathy. But the 4th question is the most important question of all. How do they perceive your self-orientation, your motivation, your drive? Do they perceive that you're genuinely wanting to help them, you're genuinely in it for them as yourself? Or do they perceive that you're just in it for your selfish gain and you're not interested in what anyone else has to say? Because what that answer is significantly affects the other 3. It doesn't matter how well you score in the other 3. If someone doesn't perceive that you're in it to genuinely want to help them, they're not going to trust you. And if they don't trust you, you're not going to create that change. And so looking at episode 10, kind of the difference between self-care and selfish, that would be a good one to check out. But to give you an idea of if you're looking to make change, there's different stages. So to summarize, we can be thinking about change for a very long time, preparing from it. But the reality is that you're most likely much further around the cycle than the people you're trying to influence. And with regards to that change is not going to happen if you're not trusted. And to be trusted, you have to be credible, you have to be reliable, you have to be empathetic, and most importantly of all, you have to be perceived as wanting to make a genuine difference to those people. Because if it's just out for a selfish gain, you can smell it a mile off, can't you? So that's change. That's diving into a little bit of empathy and trust. And to remind you that some of these elements, certainly mindset, vulnerability, managing your state, are in that 4-step simple steps to self-care. So I remind you, just download the link, it's below, and follow the very clear 4 simple steps to self-care. Thank you for joining again, and any questions, please leave them below in the comments. Please share if you like this, and if you do find this valuable, please again just leave a comment in below or in the podcast descriptions. We really appreciate it. It's going to help more and more people access this content. So thank you again this week, and see you on another episode.